All right. Good morning, class. How was your day going? Good. It's about to start class o'clock, so let's go ahead and take our seats and work on our bell ringer for the day. For those of you in the back who can't read my squibbles, the bell ringer for the day is to think about your last class with Mr. Herdigan. You guys talked about the characteristics that make short fiction, what makes it good. So I want you to think about which characteristic specifically you think matters the most, which one's the most important to making a good story in your opinion. Think about that, write a few sentences, we'll talk about it. Alright, I'll give you some time to do that while I take some attendance. Alrighty guys, I think it's time for us to move on. So let's talk about what you wrote on for your bell ringer. Alrighty, so who wants to answer what they wrote? I wrote that, I think it was figurative language that was the most important. Alright, that's a pretty good answer, but why? Why is it the most important? And what aspect of figurative language is the most important? You should really try to challenge yourselves to think on a deeper level, guys. I heard someone in the back say that they think sensory detail is the most important. How many of you guys agree with that? Right, so basically everybody, alrighty. I'm going to want you to remember that, because that's what we're going to kind of work on today. So, I'm going to hand out to you guys a list of 10 items. You have 1 minute, or until I say stop, so it might be less time, to label these items from a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is going to be the most important, 10 is going to be the least important, alright? Alrighty. So, you guys at home who are watching, you can also do this. Your items are a cell phone, batteries, gloves, sunscreen, flashlight, first aid kit, poncho, granola bars, or a compass. Alright. You have 1 minute. I'll label them too. Alright, and time's up, so everybody stop. Alright, so teacher's pets. Alright, so you have your items labeled. Now you can do this next part by yourself, or you can kind of compare and contrast and do it with your partner or a group of 3, but no more than 4 people. Can do this next little activity part. So I want you to take only the top 3 items you chose and write me at least 3 to 5 sentences, or as much as you can write in the amount of time that you have, and write a story about a man who is stuck on a deserted island who only has those 3 items. So I'm sure a lot of you picked cell phones and first aid kits, so if you do want to kind of challenge yourself a little more to have more of a challenge or a funnier kind of story to go off of, choose your first, 5th, and 7th item, or just whatever combination really, but challenge yourself to only use 3 of the items and write that story. It can be as detailed as you want it, try to make it feel as real as possible, and again, that man only has those 3 items. So I'm going to give you guys some time to work on this, and then we'll come back, and the groups, if you choose to work as groups, every group will share, and if we have time, individuals will share. So that's what I'm going to give you guys time to do, and I will be back so we can go over what you had. And we will kind of, after we go over these, we'll kind of see who used the sensory detail, who could have improved, what other aspects of writing, when applied, are a lot easier or harder to use. So, alrighty. Top 3 items, man on a desert island, go. Alrighty guys, so I think we've had enough time. If you need to finish up your thoughts or last sentences, go ahead and do that now. And we're just gonna get to sharing. So group one, why don't we just start? I'm calling you group one, but we're gonna go this way and around. So like I said, we're gonna have each group. If you worked as a group, we're gonna do groups first, and then if we have time, we're gonna do individuals. Alrighty, so group one. Okay, I guess I'm the spokesperson for group one. So I'll just read what I have. He had his phone, but it was dead. His first aid kit had band-aids, but he wasn't cut. All he could do was flick his flashlight on and on to signal for help. But now it's dead and he has no batteries. Alright, now group two. Alright, well, we'll go. This is my mustache. I have a mustache. Granola bars and water bottles are perfect when you're hungry. Greg, the stranded man, was happy to have food, but he needed clothes. Good thing he had a poncho. Okay, I guess that leaves me in group three. The man on the island was alone. The crash left him stranded with nothing but his cell phone, a first aid kit, and batteries. He'd have a good life on this island. Alrighty class, that was a pretty good job. I have one more individual one that I got from my online students during this class that I'll read to you. Day 6 is being stranded on an island with minimal supplies. I've tried ordering hot wings with my phone 25 times. No signal. Luckily, I can use my flashlight to try and make hot wings appear in shadow form. On the menu tonight is rolled up gauze pads to resemble hot wings. I wish this first aid kit had hot wings. Alright guys, so I want you to get back into your groups, or even if you worked as individuals, join a group, and I want you to talk about which story you like the best and why. We had a lot of people using some humor. It's always a fun thing. I mean, you had a short amount of time. So talk about what worked, what you think could have improved. Yeah, and so just take some time to discuss that with your group. Alrighty. Does anybody want to share their thoughts, what they had to say with their group? You really liked how the people used humor? Yeah, me too. The poncho one was kind of funny, and so was the hot wings. I'm going to agree with that. I almost laughed while I was reading those to myself. But so, besides humor, what else worked? I know we talked about sensory detail being important. How much detail did people use? Could they have given more? Could they have given less? Was it the right amount? I want you to just think about that. And then for your homework tonight, you're going to rewrite this story you wrote. If you worked as groups, you're going to write your own individual story. You can still use the basis that you made with your group. But you're going to write your own individual story, and you're going to use the same concept that you had, but you're going to add more detail to it, more depth. So that's going to be what I'm going to challenge you with tonight, is to kind of take those sensory details that we've discussed as groups and apply them a little bit more, because it's a lot trickier. Like, it's easy to identify them. It's a little trickier to apply them. So we're going to get some more practice with that, and I will see you guys next class.